Hi there everyone, and again we're here for another beer review, and again this is going to be part of the cheap and cheerful season, but this time we actually have an ale. There is of course a bitter I want to try, but I haven't had a chance to actually get to it. We did the Ashfield lager. I'd like to try the Ashfield bitter just to see what it's like. We did the Galahad in the last video in this series we did. It's okay, but not that great. But we have something a bit different. This is from Lidl, and we have just trying to get this right up. So we have the Hatherwood Craft Beer Company. Now, don't get me started in this craft beer movement nonsense or whatever. I think it's very disingenuous to and brewers of the past to turn around and say, "Oh well, this is a craft beer," as if like 50 years ago they were making utter crap, or 60, 70, even 100 years ago. Yeah, we're just making rubbish. Just now we've just suddenly learned in the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah, I can guarantee if I'd been working in the brewery industry and then somebody comes out with this craft beer nonsense, I tell them and go with that one. Seriously, I think that's very disingenuous and up their own backsides for that one. But yeah, I think what they basically mean is it's a properly brewed kind of beer in a more traditional sense rather than the mass produced stuff. That might be the case, but there's plenty of beers over the years that have been produced that way, and they didn't have to use the word craft. It was just a traditional brewed beer. And there's been wonderful beers brewed over the years, thousands of them. So this craft beer nonsense, well, I just don't like it at all. I just think it's insulting to beers of the past and brewers of the past. There's a lot of breweries that we've lost over the years that made tremendous beers, and what we're left with, the craft beer brigade. Seriously, don't get me started. I can do time for people that come out with craft beer nonsense. But anyway, part of this is the craft beer company. It's not doing it well at all, not doing itself any favours so far. The Golden Goose number no, sorry, the Golden Goose Golden Ale number 1. Or is it the Golden Goose number 1 Golden Ale? I don't know, but look at it. What a stupid thing. Look at it. And who's this? Get a name here. Ooh. Head brewer, Patrick McGinty. There might be a head brewer out there called Patrick McGinty, but I just seem to think, coming from Scotland, and Paddy McGinty's goat is a famous kind of pipe tune and everything. Yeah, it just maybe a bit of poetic license there, a bit of dramatization. But there might be somebody called Pat McGinty. Do you hear that? I don't know what that is. I think it's the fact. I think it's maybe an ice cream van coming out. What? I'm actually at work just now. This is my office, and an ice cream van going around industrial estates. I can understand housing estates because they used to come around when we were kids, but no, it's strange. But anyway, let's get back to this. It's the Hatherwood Craft Beer Company, and it's a golden ale. It says here, woo, golden ale. It's 4.5% and it's a 500ml. Now, it's not as cheap as some of the other stuff. I mean, the Ashfield and the Galahad lagers, they were both 4% and 3.8%. Well, I wouldn't say respectively. The Ashfield was 3.8 and the Galahad was 4%. This is 4.5%, so it's more. It's a 500ml bottle rather than the 440ml cans that both of them came in. But it is more expensive. It's working at roughly about 89 pence a bottle, which isn't too bad. Not too bad at all. But anyway, it is a bit more expensive than the £2.25 for 4 cans of the other stuff. But anyway, we'll see what it's like. Now, a little bit more history. So Hatherwood is basically a made-up kind of company or name or brand by Lidl's, the supermarket chain. Now, the brewery It's actually a Marston's brewery, based in Burton-on-Trent. Now it does say it's made with 100% British barley, and the golden ale has been traditionally craft brewed, and just traditionally brewed. You don't need the craft nonsense. I don't know. Did you put what, tissue paper or PVA glue in it? What's this craft nonsense? A little bit of glitter, you know. Arts and craft? No, really with that nonsense. Using 100% British barley. Well, it was brewed in the UK. There's a good chance it's going to be British barley. Pale malts combined with 5 different distinctive hops deliver a refreshing and full-bodied flavour, showing that this ale is not afraid to stick its neck out. Don't really know what that means, really. Just kind of marketing bump. Maybe if they actually got the person that was writing the marketing bump that has actually maybe drunk the beer and actually knows a bit about beer to actually write it, but no. Anyway, contains barley and wheat, and that's really it. And yes, it's that's really it. There's nothing else apart from it's out of date on the 31st of April 2021. There you go. But anyway, it took me a while to obviously get a bit more information on this because they don't give you any information. But yes, it's actually brewed under license by Marston's Breweries. So hopefully it's quite good, because I've got to admit I do like a Bombardier. Marston's make the Bombardier bitter, and that's a lovely bitter. So it is. So hopefully it's kind of same kind of standard as that. So it's a Burton-on-Trent. It's the name is the Golden Goose Golden Ale #1. It's 4.5% by volume. Now, bottle description, what I've done is kind of looked at the kind of marketing bump on the website, Lidl's website. It says, traditionally craft brewed using Burton water, 100% British barley, and a blend of pale and crystal malts, delivering a distinctive rich malty flavour, which is perfectly combined with the classically refreshing bitter finish of an English Fugel and Styrian golden hops. Now, the Untapped app review basically says it's 3.12 out of 5, and it's got just over 10,000 or 10k check-ins. Now, tasting notes is apparently supposed to have a balanced fruity aroma with a taste of malty with a bitter finish. So yes, there we go. So it's got 5 distinctive hops for a burst of flavour. Just a burst. That's it. You get one go. That's it. Once you get that burst of flavour, that's it. You don't get any more. So yes. But anyway, be interesting to see what this is like. It's a first of the kind of ales of the cheap and cheerful. Why am I doing this? Oh, there we go. It's open. It's open. Let's see what we get. Oh, no, it does smell alish. Yeah, I want to get this open into the glass. This has got a bit of life to it, by the sound, by the smell of it, sound of it. What the hell am I talking about? But, right, so it's a golden ale brewed by a well-known brewery that, but when they know what they're doing, they make some lovely beers. I'll be honest with that. I do like a Bombardier. Right, anyway. It's stronger in the bottle. It's dissipated quite a bit. But you are getting multi-tones, some quite good multi-tones from it. As you can see, it's not a bad head actually, not a bad head. Colour, well, golden ale, maybe needs to be a bit dark, because it really isn't really that far away from a lager in some ways. But yes, there's a golden ale. It smells quite nice. It doesn't have any kind of strange smells or things like that. So this will be quite interesting. So let's give it a go. It's malty. You're getting that boof straight off the bat. You're getting that kind of maltiness right at the front. You're getting an aftertaste there, but I'm trying to kind of think what that kind of. It's not a bad aftertaste. It's a kind of accent taste at the back of the mouth once you've swallowed it. Just trying to see what it's like. You're not getting flavoury. You're not getting fruity, really. You're definitely getting malty. You're getting a kind of bitterness, but it's not a strong bitterness. It's just a kind of drop from it. It's not overly sweet, but of course there is a drop off from the kind of sweetness it's got. So yes, it's there, but just trying to find out what that kind of accent aftertaste is. It's kind of strange. It's kind of popcorny. It's got a kind of cornish, yeah, kind of corny. Yeah. I think that's what it's like. Imagine unflavoured popcorn. In fact, that's probably the kind of smell you're getting. You're getting a kind of an accent flavour and aroma. It smells like the popcorn machine at the cinema. You know, as you get closer, you get that kind of smell of popcorn. And it has that kind of popcorn accents after you swallowed. There's a kind of not a strong aftertaste, but just kind of light accents of is it? But yeah, it's like kind of popcorn. Freshly made popcorn, but with no salt or sugar added, so that's what you're just getting the flavour of the actual popcorn itself, with nothing else added to it. Not unpleasant, a bit unusual in some ways. It's not a strong or heavy character ale in any way, shape, or form, but it's actually quite pleasant. It's not bad at all, really. Yeah, definitely. As I'm drinking it now, and I've had a couple of sips, it's got a kind of sweeter flavour now. So again, as your mouth acclimatises to it, it just becomes a bit sweet. It's kind of sweeter. But yes, it starts off malty with a kind of sweet, kind of mid taste, and then of course it kind of tails off, say maybe slightly bitter, but it does kind of tail off from the sweetness, so it is going into the kind of bitter realm, but it's not strong bitter flavours. And a kind of popcorny kind of accents at the end, and that's the best way to describe it. It's definitely not offensive in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, as you can see how it looks, it's quite lively, as you can see. It is actually for 89 pence, let's be totally honest, for half a litre and a good alcohol content, 4.5%. It's actually not bad at all. I wouldn't say it's premium. I don't like the craft beer nonsense. I'm sorry, but I just don't like that. But that's a personal thing for me. So, but yeah, it's actually not bad for the money. I would be quite happy to drink it, and I would drink it again, and I would probably buy it again. So yeah, what would I give it? It's got a 3.12. This is a difficult one. what to give it. That's actually quite nice. Bit unusual. Again, not bags of flavour or very overpowering flavour. Again, it's very subtle. I think you would lose quite a lot of flavours if you had any food with it. I think honestly, yeah, even if it was a salad, if you were having it with a barbecue, I think a lot of the flavours, you would get the kind of bitterness, you would get the maltiness, you maybe get the slight sweetness in the middle. You wouldn't be able to taste the popcorn or anything else with that. But yes, I would probably give it a 2.8 out of 5. I wouldn't say it was a 3 or a 3.12. I think some people are too generous with their kind of choices. But again, we're all different. But surprisingly enough, it's actually quite good. So yes, a 2.8. I will put that on my list because if I'm in the Lidls or the wife's in Lidls and things like that and they say, do you need anything? I'd pick up a couple of bottles of this stuff. It's always good to have in reserve. People coming. So yes, I honestly wouldn't be ashamed of bringing that out, and I certainly wouldn't be ashamed of taking that to a barbecue in any way, shape, or form. So yes, and the people say, "Oh, it's at Lidl's." Yeah, it is. And it's brave about Marsden's. It's actually very nice. So yeah, seriously, 89 pence for half a litre. Can't go wrong. So yeah, 2.8 all day long. Very easy, very nice, and yeah, very surprised. In fact, I'm actually quite upbeat about it because we started off with the Ashfield, which was a 2.5, and it was actually very nice. And then we went to the Galahad, and well, did go downhill a wee bit with the Galahad. But now we're back up there again, so we're going in the right direction. We're 2.8. Yeah, very happy with that for the price. Because let's be totally honest, you can get 10 of these for £10, and you've still got change. So there you go. So quite happy with that indeed. Definitely a little gem of a bargain, I would say. So yes, 2.8. If you have tried it or you're going to try it, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Cheers and bye for now.